Now by the end of this video we'll have created a level in which our player can run through it, and it will be complete with tile-based collisions and moving object collisions as well. So off screen I came in just to tweak the elevator just a little bit. So I'm going to double click the elevator object, and all I tweaked was this second line in the create event here where I set the delay variable. I wasn't quite happy with the delay, so I came in and tweaked that. In the end I settled on 30 steps plus random 60 steps, so it could be a total value of 90 steps for that delay there. So that just changes the interval at which the elevator changes direction, and you can set that to something else if you want. Just choose something that works well for you. So I'm going to set that to OK, and to code the player and elevator collision I'm going to move over here in the resource panel and right click on the player group under scripts and choose create script, and I'm going to be naming the new function player elevator collision, and I'm going to paste in some code into here that's going to handle the collision detection, and I'll explain how it works. So I'm going to press Ctrl V to paste in that code here. It's not so long this time, but the way this works is it effectively asks this function here, instance place. It says, is there a collision between this position, our position, and the object elevator? So does the player collide with the elevator? And here it will tell us if it does or if it doesn't. If the object, the collider object returned equals no one, then we are not colliding with an elevator. But if it's equal to something else, then we are colliding with one of the elevators in the level. We then ask the question, is the player standing above the elevator? And if we are, then we make sure that the player is set to the top of the elevator surface, and is not halfway through the elevator. And we also set gravity to 0 because the player will be making contact with the elevator. So I'm going to accept these changes, and in the player update function I'm just going to come here after player clamp position, and I'm going to call player elevator collision, like so, and accept those changes and press accept there. And then I'm just going to give our game a test run. So bring up the level here. Here is the player. Just move this into view, and there are the moving elevators. So I'm going to jump, and oh look, we're colliding with the elevator. But notice that there's a small problem with our elevator collision. You can see that there's some sort of fighting going on between the player states. It can't make up its mind which state it wants to be. And that's because as the elevator moves downwards, gravity is taking effect to pull the player downwards with the elevator. And the reason this is happening is if we revisit our player update state function, you can see that if we are falling down and the buffer is 0.2, then we use the full sprite and not the player neutral sprite. So I can repair this issue just by increasing the buffer. So I'm going to change this from 0.2 to 1 and accept those changes, and then press play. I've actually launched the debug mode there, but that's okay. Let's just close debug here, and here is the game. So I'm going to jump onto the platform, and now this works fine. You can see that the collision is taking place just as it should do. So I'm going to jump onto this platform, jump onto this one, and now you'll see that the player can run and jump throughout the level. Oh, I've just fallen down, but never mind. The player can actually run and jump through the level, collide with moving objects, collide with tile sets, and there we have the fundamentals of collision detection up and running.